This lesson is on subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Can you solve this problem? 5/8 minus 3/8. It equals 2/8, which is simplified to 1/4. So why was that problem so easy to solve? You're right, the fraction have a common denominator of 8. When subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, just like with adding with unlike denominators, we have to find a common denominator first. Here we have the fractions of 1/4 and 1/5. What would be the common denominator of the two fractions above? Well, all I have to do is think about my multiples to find the least common denominator. I look at 4, I look at 5, and I find that it is 20. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. 1/4 minus 1/5. We now know the denominator is 20. So I'm going to rewrite it in a vertical form. And I know that the common denominator is 20. So to find my equivalent fractions, I think 4 times 5, which means I have to multiply 1 times 5 to get 5. On the bottom fraction, I think 5 times 4 to get 20, so the numerator has to be multiplied by 4, and I get 4/20 there. I can subtract 5 and 4 to get 1/20. So it's very similar to adding with unlike denominators. In this case, we're just subtracting. Here are two more examples. Let's try these together. We'll start with 8/9 minus 4/18. Common denominator would have to be 18. I don't have to change the bottom fraction, but the top one I'm going to multiply by 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Now, since we have a common denominator, we can subtract. 16 minus 4 is 12/18. But 12/18 can be simplified, and I know that because both of the numbers are even. So I can divide by 2 to get 6/9. I see again it can be simplified because I know that 3 is a factor of both of those numbers. So divide by 3 and we get 2/3. Now remember, you could have just divided 12 and 18 by 6 if you remembered that 6 was the greatest common factor. So let's see if we're correct. There's our answer. All right, number 2, 5/8 minus 1/6. What's the common denominator? If you chose 24, that was correct. So we know 8 times 3 is 24, 5 times 3 is 15, 6 times 4 is 24, so 1 times 4 is 4, and we can subtract 15 minus 4 is 11/24. I know that's in simplest form because 11 is prime, and 11 will not go into 24 evenly. Let's check our answer. Just doesn't want to subtract, but it is 11/24. Here's a word problem. Let's see if you can set it up. A property owner donates 1/4 acre to a local park. After the donation, the size of the park is 5/6 acre. Find the area of the park before the donation. Pause the video, set up the problem and solve it, and then come back and we'll try to solve it together. Well, since we're finding the area of the park before the donation, I know I have to subtract because 5/6 is what the park size is now. So I'm going to take 5/6 and subtract the 1/4 that was donated. Here I have to think about my common denominators. 6 and 4, the least common denominator is 12. 6 times 2 is 12, and 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3. And now we can subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7/12. Let's move our magnifying glass over and see if we're correct. Excellent job. Here are 3 problems I would like you to put into your notes and solve. Please write them vertically and show me all the work. Good luck.